It's okay. You can stop searching for where to start learning Japanese. The biggest thing that holds beginners back is at the very start. The way that you start learning Japanese will determine whether you continue learning or quit altogether within the first 7 days. So in a very real way, your future in learning Japanese, for real or not, will be decided over the first week. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to start learning Japanese successfully and how to guarantee you can stick with it. Plus, I'll give you the exact tool that I use to start learning Japanese. Now, if you don't know who I am, I've been living in Japan for the past 10 years. I graduated from language school and Japanese college and worked in Japanese companies using Japanese for business. I have many Japanese friends and run a school group for helping people to learn Japanese. But 100% of everything you need to know to learn Japanese, I'll be teaching here in my videos for free. So let's jump into the conversation. Just a quick note, this video will just be audio on top of Kingdom Hearts gameplay. I won't be showing anything on the screen, so feel free to just listen if you prefer. By far, the biggest problem I see beginners face when starting out in Japanese is knowing where to start. They're faced with extreme overwhelm and people ask me all the time what to do. It's analysis paralysis and they end up stalling for months, if not years. Now, I didn't have this exact struggle at the beginning in Japanese. Before I came out to Japan, I knew absolutely zero Japanese. But about a week before I moved to Japan, I learned hiragana and katakana, which if you don't know what that is, they're basically the Japanese ABCs. But straight from the beginning, my purpose was to experience a new culture. So I threw myself right into the deep end and signed up for language school as soon as I graduated college in the US. For better or worse, they forced me to use specific materials for class, just like any school in the US would do too. Now, this was a big help in the fact that it helped me to tackle the biggest constraint that every beginner is faced with that stems directly from overwhelm. This is the beast known as decision fatigue or analysis paralysis. I would have had to go through a lot more of this at the start if I tried to learn on my own. And this is a huge plus of learning with a textbook or course or class. You basically don't need to think, and all of your extra mental energy can go straight to studying the next lesson. And believe me, you're going to need that mental bandwidth. But there is a big downside to this path, which is that it is extremely rigid. So much so that even in my first week of coming out to Japan, I questioned everything and saw my life going in a bad direction. I almost quit several times, and in the end, I actually did end up quitting once. But I ended up changing my mind later on. I told this story in a previous video, so I won't go back to it right now, but basically I canceled my visa and had to go home for 3 months in the US to reapply for another student visa. If you're curious what textbook we used at the language school that I studied at, it was called Mina no Nihongo, which many of you may know. It's not a terrible book by any means, but it is difficult to use and a lot of people don't like it. I'm not here to say anything bad about that book specifically. It definitely can be good, but it's just the rigidity of all textbooks in general. Personally, I've always hated school. Even from the beginning in elementary school through 2 colleges and language school, school has always been a problem for me. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. Many of you are also gamers, and I think for a lot of us, school just feels like such a waste of time. And the thought of studying from a textbook just makes us want to. And believe me when I say it's much worse in Japan. So do you really think a textbook is the best path for you? An alternative to this would be to stick with what you enjoy and learn it piece by piece from YouTube videos or games or anime or media or flashcards, just following whatever you enjoy and trying to figure it out on your own. Now, there are major upsides and downsides to this path as well. The major upside is that you have something you enjoy from the start. You'll have the motivation to practice and a place to use what you've learned right from the beginning. And let me tell you, this is a major upside. The chances of you quitting are much lower until you start to exhaust yourself with decision fatigue. There's a problem with learning anything new though. At the very start, each new piece of information you learn feels great, like immediate reward and progress. But each new thing you learn opens the door to more that you don't know, and you start to have more questions. The gap between what you know and what you don't becomes recognizable, and now you know how much there is that you don't know. The amount of questions you have to ask to get the real questions will take you decades. So is this a bad path too? Now, this isn't meant to scare you off. In fact, it's meant to do the opposite. My intention is to be upfront so that you understand what learning Japanese consists of and that it will take you a long time. It is totally achievable, but it is a long-term game, not a short one. As you can see, there are pros and cons to every method, but the most important point that I want to make here is that optimization kills everything. Your brain wants perfection, but do you know what it's never gonna get? Perfection. You're trying to solve for an impossible equation. You're asking an impossible question. What is the best way to learn? Where's the best place to start? Perfection does not exist. So my answer is that anything can work. Just try one and see if it works for you. But know that there will be hard spots with any method, and it is okay to use multiple. But once you find the one that you like best, it is good to stick with it to make sure you aren't running away from the difficult parts. The second thing to remember is to de-escalate. If there is no need for perfection, then don't try to be perfect. Just try to learn one new thing each time. Try to enjoy it, and before you know it, you'll understand more than you ever thought you would. A good question to ask when choosing a method at the start is, what is a method that aligns with me that will help me to learn Japanese? Start there, and it will be different for everyone. But if you're a complete beginner with absolutely zero experience with Japanese, I have a recommendation that you might not expect. I promise you the tool that I used for my very first experience with Japanese, the one that kept me learning past my first week, and drumroll, it's actually Duolingo. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be, just like I said. And I think it's an excellent place to start for beginners. And no, I'm not sponsored by them at all. It's designed with gamers in mind and will get you to form habits of language learning because it's fun. It's got both the positives from the two methods that I mentioned previously. It has structure, so you don't get stuck in analysis paralysis, and it's fun and addicting. You will be able to learn hiragana and katakana, new vocabulary, some kanji, start to develop an ear for Japanese pronunciation, and even start speaking Japanese. It's a super powerful app that people don't give enough credit to. Yes, you can't learn everything from it, but I personally think it's a great place to start to form those habits. We talk about this sort of stuff in my school group, and a lot of people actually secretly love Duolingo because it's just fun. But anyway, that's my unhinged take of the day. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm crazy or do you agree? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you've never tried it, just give it a then come back here and let me know what you think. But that's all for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.